Gentlemen, good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Daniel Vassetti, and today what I'm going to be talking about is inner game, but more specifically, overcoming your limiting beliefs. I'm just going to let you know as well, as I was saying, that this is my first time doing a PowerPoint presentation and creating one. I got carried away, man. You're going to see these things flying in, and, you know, I'll probably trip myself up doing it, but hey, just bear with me. But I've been teaching for a while now. It's been close to it's like 3.5, 4 years. And when I first got into this, I thought that, you know, I wanted more variety with women. I wanted hotter women, and, you know, and I wanted choice, right? But the more that I learned and the more that I worked with guys, I realized that this wasn't really about women. It was more about us. Okay? It became about personal mastery. It became about me realizing what my inner demons were and exercising them. All right? It became about me figuring out what was holding me back in life in general and just smashing that. And for so many guys that I see come to workshops, I come to boot camps, the outward game, the kind of what to say, it's awesome stuff. Don't get me wrong, you need outer and inner game working alongside each other. But most of the time, it's these inner demons and the belief systems that are holding most guys back. So that's when I started to really look into this stuff as, you know, how do I get something that guys can benefit from and use immediately. And this is how we got to this. The process for overcoming limiting beliefs. A belief is just a feeling of certainty about something, right? If you're good at your job and you believe that you're good at your job, why is that? It's because you've done it over and over and over. You have proved to yourself. You are certain that you are good at your job. For all of the instructors that we know that we are, if they were, you know, we're good at this thing we call dating science or good at meeting women because we have done it over and over and over and over in many different circumstances and situations, right? But what you have to figure out is what is going on inside your head that is stopping you from getting the level of success that you want. First way that we do that is you need to have an ideal image of where you want to be. Step number 1, I call it defining your North Star. Step number 2 is to highlight your negative belief. Once you've found your North Star, you use your North Star as a guiding mechanism, okay? If you don't know what you're working towards, how are you going to get there? Once you've got the destination, you can find out the things that are stopping you from getting there. Number 2 is to gain leverage. What this means is that we increase the pain, okay? I'll dive into more depth, obviously. Number 4 is to create an empowering alternative. Now that you've found out what the negative stuff is, you can't just leave yourself in the shit, all right? You have to give your mind a destination to work towards, an ideal to work towards, otherwise it stays there and people tend to just wallow in their misery. And then number 5, which is probably the most important step, is to seek reference experiences. Nothing happens without action. Nothing happens without action. This is the glory of boot camps, is that we do theory. We do a bunch of theory. We do we do seminar workouts and exercises, but then we go into the field and we put it into practice. And that is where you gain the muscle. You can't just think about buffing up in the gym. You know, you can't just think about getting the six-pack. You got to get down on that floor, do ab ripper X. Damn, that shit hurts. And make it happen. So let's look into more depth with this stuff. Let me start this timer. Oh no. Defining your North Star. Before there was GPS navigation and all this kind of satellite stuff, all this technology, the sailors used to chart their course, and they would know where they are based on where the stars. It would keep them on track, okay? Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. This room that we're in, my PowerPoint presentation, right? The tables that you're sitting in front of, my glorious iPad, right, was created in the mind of someone, an idea, a dream, okay? It's the same thing with our personal character. Most people never take the time to define what sort of man do you want to be? What sort of women do you want in your life? And what sort of man do you need to be in order to attract those type of women? What is your ideal self? Okay? Without creating that image, you're like a ship on the ocean with no oars, no sails. You're just drifting. Who knows where you're going to end up? So first step, define your North Star. We do that in a couple of ways. Main thing is visualization. I advise all of you to get a book by Maxwell Maltz called Psycho-Cybernetics, where he delves into the idea of the self-concept, and he also he creates these methods of visualization that are very powerful. Visualization is almost as strong as actually doing the thing yourself. Okay, there's an example in the book where he talks about this basketball team, and there were 3 groups. I can't remember the exact specifics of the percentages, but one group was told to practice for the next week, do the actual physical practice. The other group was told to not to practice at all, not to do anything, all right? And then the third group were told to visualize practicing exactly how the first group would practice. And at the end of it, their level of improvement, I think, was something like 3% less than the guys that actually practiced. That's how powerful visualization is. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about your mastermind group, the group of guys who have characteristics that you admire, that you respect. So right now, I want you to write down 5 guys. And it doesn't have to be, here's the thing about when you're looking for characteristics to emulate. They don't have to have all of the characteristics that you want. You don't have to look for that in one man. If there's something like, for instance, Mr. M, one of my best mates, his work ethic is like nothing I've seen in anyone else, okay? The only time my work ethic matches that is when I'm working, I'm an actor professionally, so when I've got a role that I'm working on, then no one will see me, I'll disappear, all right? But I needed, in order for me to build a kind of financial success and the kind of lifestyle and stability that I want, I have to be able to do that in other areas as well. So my mentor, in terms of work ethic and being able to sit in, I hate sitting in front of a fucking computer, man. Like, some guys love it, I hate it. I'm a creative people type person. But that's not good enough in the line of business that I'm in. I have to learn that. So one of the people that I emulate in that is Mr. M for his work ethic, okay? And I take that specific characteristic, and that is part of my mastermind group. So write down 5 guys. It could be for, let's say, for body language, someone who, like for teasing, Braddock or something like that, and just, they can be anyone. Just write down 5 guys. All right? Seek mentors and naturals as well. I had a friend of mine when we were 16 years old. He was dating 32-year-old women. He was just a complete natural. He just picked it up young, very young. And I asked him one day, I was like, John, man, what do you think when you see a hot woman? What goes through your mind? And he looked off into the distance as if he was kind of visualizing it. And he was like, you want to fuck me, don't you? I was like, what? That is so drastically different from what I was thinking at that time. There's me thinking, I'm not stacked enough. I'm too black. whatever was going, there's so many different things that were going through my head, right? And he's there looking at her thinking that she wants to fuck him. How did you get to that belief, all right? This is what we need to write down. Beliefs do not have to be real in order for them to be useful. The only thing that is important is whether they are empowering or whether they are disempowering. That's it. Define which ones you need. And use your North Star to guide you. Once you've got that North Star in place, no more excuses, man. I call it highlighting your bullshit. Everyone's got personal bullshit. That's what I realized early. People saw me and they're like, yo, you're a trained actor, you got good body language, you should be killing it with girls. And I wasn't. I was going out in clubs, I was looking high value, I was building attraction, I wasn't getting laid, right? Because I had my own personal bullshit. I had an ego to kill that was huge. It's huge, okay? And so you have to highlight what your personal bullshit is. It doesn't matter. It could be something trivial to someone else, but in your world, it's huge. And the only way you can start to highlight that is once you've defined a North Star. You've defined an ideal self. Step number 2, highlighting your negative beliefs. Pain and pleasure. Whenever we have pain and pleasure linked to a process, it becomes very difficult to move forward, okay? Most of the time, we're either moving towards pain, moving away from pain or towards pleasure. But we will avoid pain rather than go to pleasure most of the time. And unless you highlight what you have associated to a process, you'll be avoiding action a lot of the time. So, first question. What do you have linked to meeting women? I always start with emotional honesty first. You don't have to be truthful to anyone else, but if you are not truthful to yourself, you're in deep doo-doo. All right? On the page, just draw a line down the middle. 1/2 negative, 1/2 positive. And in free association, and that just means let it out. Don't try to highlight it, monitor it. Don't try to think too hard. Just write down, what do I have linked to women? What do I have linked to the process of meeting women? What do I have linked to body language, to standing out of the crowd? What do I have linked to sexual escalation? What do I have linked to relationships? This was huge for me. Huge for me. When I started doing, I continually do this as well. Whenever I'm learning something new, or just to kind of monitor where I am, I'll come back and say, what am I linking? What am I linking? And because new things start to link in, depending the people that you're around, the people who you're associating with. A good question to ask when it comes to your social circle: what do they have you reading? What do they have you thinking? And what do they have you saying? Okay. We're very fortunate in Love Systems that everyone's awesome. We've got some of the most dynamic thinkers in this company in the area that we're in. And just being around, this is why Super Conference is so exciting for us, because the stuff that washes off on us, our mind just fine-tunes. I mean, you've got people like Fader, who makes us think about stripper game in the most, he breaks it down. But on a serious note, what do you have linked? I had to recently, about to go into a new relationship, and it popped up to me that I had linked a hell of a lot of negative shit to relationships. Another saying for you: be careful of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Because one day you may wake up with what you want but hate who you've become. Game, if it's not learnt properly, and this is why I'm saying that this stuff as a foundation is brilliant, because if you build a clean house on a solid foundation. I hear a lot of guys talking about stealing this guy's girlfriend or doing this and sleeping with this and this and this. And I mean, I'm not proud of it, but it's happened. Now, what happened is that when I go back and now I'm about to get into a relationship, I'm thinking, well, hold on. I've been with girls who have got boyfriends before. I can only imagine the stories that they've told him where they've been here and he calls and she says that she's with someone else. Now, the negative feedback is telling me relationships are bad, relationships are bad, relationships are bad. And this girl that I've met is awesome. But my negativity that's linked to relationships was stopping me from taking the leap, from stopping me from opening up, from stopping me from actually connecting with someone who together we're both enriching each other's lives. And until I highlighted that negative belief and went through the process that I'm sharing with you now, I was stuck. So just take 2 minutes. Just jot it down on both sides. What do you really have linked? And think about the beliefs that you have, different scenarios, what you're in. You know, if you see a beautiful woman walking towards you, what goes through your head? If you're sat down and you know you should be escalating, but you're not, what's going through your head? Why? Why aren't you? Why? Always ask why. As you're writing down, I just talk about some of the other stuff that, you know, when I did this back in the day, some of the negative associations were things like the effort that I'm going to have to put in. It's going to take a lot of time to master this stuff. I didn't want the responsibility of managing someone else's emotions. So girls getting attached, that was something that was negative. As I started to weed through my mind, these were things that were linked, that were stopping me. Okay, so what have you got? What's going on? What's going on in your mind? This is about demystifying your mind. So it's not this kind of uncharted territory. You know what's going on in your head. It's personal mastery, people. Another way to highlight some of them is to compare yourself. And when I mean compare, I mean in terms of the beliefs of, say, the instructors that you've met over the weekend. You know, how do we see things in comparison to how you may have seen things before? And that distance, the gap between the beliefs, figure out what's going on in between that. It's a good way to compare. For example, me and John, when I found out he was thinking, you want to fuck me, don't you? And I'm thinking, I'm too black. Massive difference. Has everyone got some stuff down? Show of hands. Good negative stuff down? Positive stuff? All right. Again, you can do this in your own time as well. Just keep weeding through. You're going to be in scenarios and situations where something pops up to you. I had a file before I lost my iPhone in New York. I had a file just in the notes section with every time something would pop up, or I'd hear a negative belief, or I'd hear some kind of negative statement that I'd make, I'd be like, whoa, hello, write that down. It's getting deleted, it's getting weeded out, okay? Stage 3, get leverage, increase the pain. What price are you paying for having these negative beliefs? What is the true price that you're paying for having these negative beliefs? Because here's the scary thing about beliefs, right? On some level, our mind is saying that we need them. They are protecting us in some way. And normally, most of the time, it's the comfort zone. They're protecting our security. They're keeping us safe. And you have to decide, do you want to be safe or do you want to be successful? Because a lot of the time, those two things do not exist together. It's very difficult for them to exist together, especially when it comes to meeting women. You have to take risks. You have to take chances. And a lot of the negative beliefs will keep you protected, keep you safe, keep you in your comfort zone. So, what price are you paying? You must wage war against your negative beliefs. It's not good enough just to highlight them. You have to wage war against them endlessly. Negativity is so strong. It's so strong. It's around us in everyday life. You just have to pick up a newspaper and you're bombarded with negative shit. People always talk about negative stuff. The conversation genuinely starts negative. And you have to wage war against them. Your mind is a continual fight for territory between negative and positive. And negativity is strong. You have to send reinforcements for the positive stuff. Most people don't change until the pain is unbearable. Okay? So how we're going to do this, there's a couple of ways that we gain leverage on ourselves. The first way is emotional leverage. I want you to, when you finish, I'll let you guys finish writing. The more we connect our emotions to overcoming negative beliefs, the better. The more we, emotions are like fuel for us. They're powerful if you use them correctly. When I talk to guys, I'm talking about the group that went out with me. I start with developing the instinct and the impulse that when you see a gorgeous woman, you're approaching. If by the end of this weekend, you've got to the point where you see and you approach on your own, that is perfect. You've developed the instinct that will move you forward quicker than anything else. And that is about accessing your emotions and being truthful with your intentions and not apologizing for it. So when you use your emotions as a tool, as a weapon, they can be powerful. So visualization, an emotional visualization. It's a basic timeline. Everyone just close your eyes for a second. Sit comfortably in your chair. And I want you to focus down on your breathing. And make sure it is coming right from the center of your stomach. Chinese, just beneath the belly button, the Chinese call it the Tantien, I believe. And on each breath in, imagine that there's a fire that is growing inside on each deep breath. But it's a calming, soothing, blue flame. And on each inhale, the blue flame spreads over your body and it relaxes you. Now, I want you to imagine a month down the line, 30 days down the line, any pain or frustration that you get from not taking action, every time you let a beautiful woman walk past out your life that you'll never get another chance to meet, the frustration of loneliness at home, not having anyone to share time with, amplified. And each day that goes by without overcoming these limiting beliefs, the pain is amplified even more because it doesn't stay the same. It gets worse. And imagine a year down the line, still with these negative beliefs, with them poisoning your mind, spreading through you, stopping you from taking action, stopping you from meeting the type of women that you want. What effect does it have on you? Where do you feel it in your body? What kind of man are you becoming from not taking action? And we're going to jump 5 years down the line, still infested with these negative beliefs, still not taking action, still not becoming the man that you know that you can be. How does it feel on the inside? What does this man look like? And jump forward 10 years. Same scenario. Things getting worse, deteriorating. 20 years down the line, negative beliefs have owned your life. They've owned your mind. And I want you to imagine laying on your deathbed with no significant other around you. No women, no children, you didn't take action. Beliefs running rampant, laying there knowing that you didn't take action, that you didn't weed out your garden of your mind. How does it make you feel? Where does it leave you? And I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And on the third one, open your eyes and write down anything that you have discovered linked to that imagery. What price are you paying for these negative beliefs? Remember what I said about emotional honesty, being truthful with yourself first and foremost. You can bullshit other people. You can bullshit the instructors. I see guys come and, they make excuses. Oh, no, well, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. But, lads, this is about being able to look in the mirror and love who you see looking back. That's all. When I realized that was the journey for me, when I realized that it wasn't necessarily about game, it was about personal mastery, things became a lot easier. But you have to be honest with yourself. Who do you see who's looking back at you in that mirror? Okay? Everyone written that down? Cool. Next form of leverage, physical. It's where it kind of gets a little bit fun. Link physical pain to not taking action. Now, I don't have an elastic band on my wrist at the moment, but there was a time when I had an elastic band on my wrist, and any time I came up with one of the beliefs that I'd highlighted, anything negative, whoosh, you link physical pain. What happens there is that instead of, every time you do that, your brain then says, belief doesn't equal pleasure, and safety, the belief equals pain. Belief equals pain. Belief equals pain. Sooner or later, your brain goes, I think I should stop thinking this fucking belief. It's starting to hurt. Okay? So get that elastic band. If I see any of you in the future, and I don't see you with your elastic bands on, come on, how serious are you? You got one on? Yeah. Ah, damn, I like that. Okay, so link physical pain. I'm dead serious. Next form of leverage, liable leverage. What I mean by this is I remember when I was first learning day game, right? And oh my God, I was a beast in the clubs. Jim 5.0, Sheriff. We used to have a company called Project Entourage where we'd be in the clubs like nearly 5 nights a week. With a ton of hot girls. We were basically glorified pimps. We had to bring a bunch of hot girls to a club, get the VIP table, get the free alcohol, and then just let them go and descend upon the rich guys in the club with their tables so they buy more alcohol, right? And but when it came to day game, I thought my heart was going to jump out of my chest. My heart was beating so hard, I thought that she could hear it. I could hear it, all right? And I was avoiding a lot of sets. It was painful for me learning day game at first. So Sheriff and I, we were like, right, let's get this done. Let's get it done. How do we get leverage over ourselves though? What do we do? So we said, every set, let's put down some money. Let's put down $200, £200 in my case. We're going to do 5 approaches. Every approach we do, we get back some money. There's one thing I hate doing. Losing money. It's great leverage for me, right? We're opening sets. If you want to amp it up a little bit, if you're with your wing or your partner, then and you guys are taking all day because you're still going to get the AA, but you might take all day to get the 5 sets out. Say the first person to complete the 5 sets gets all the money. You see how quickly you get them sets out. Money, women. I think I'm going to go money all day long. Right? So liable leverage. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be money. It could be just holding yourself accountable to a friend of yours. If you say, I'm going to do this or this happens. Okay? I'm going to wash your car. Or I'll do the dishes for the week. Okay? So whatever it is to get leverage over yourself. This again, lads, this is personal mastery. Only you know your excuses. Only you know the bullshit that you come up with, okay? So if you want to master this stuff, you got to say to yourself, enough is enough. I'm going to put things in place that stop me from backing out. That's all leverage is. I can't back out because I've got this in place now. When I was moving to LA, I was nervous. I'd been in London all my life. I knew some people in LA, but I didn't know that many people. I didn't really have the money to kind of sustain myself. And I said to myself, right, well, if I'm going to, this is me following my dream. This is me following my passion. I have to put things in place that I cannot back out. I cannot back out, right? And that's all it was. I put seminars up. I got my agent to set up meetings. I booked my flight. All of these things said, Daniel, you're going to LA, whether you like it or not. And that's it. Couldn't back out. And it ended up being the most life-changing decision that I've ever made. Okay? Number 3, create an empowering alternative. Send reinforcements to the beaches. It's not good enough to just highlight your negative beliefs. You have to give your mind a destination. You have to give yourself something to work towards. And if you don't, you're going to snap right back into those negative beliefs. How you word these new beliefs are very important. Now, you speak to some of the instructors, some of our beliefs are downright delusional, man. Like, there's some of them, you'll hear them and you'll be like, how does that even, that's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. But what you will realize in the wording is that by just speaking that belief, we're empowered. By just saying it, your body and your mind and your emotions and your heart and your gut go, oh, I'm a new man. I'm a man who takes action regardless of fear. That rouses you. I'm a man who takes action regardless of fear. Okay? And when we highlight these negative beliefs and then find the empowering alternative, it's normally the antithesis of what the belief was, all right? So let's say it was the fear of approaching. Women don't like being approached on the street. Or I get nervous when I see a woman with fake tits. Or, whatever it is, all right? I'm a man who takes action regardless of fear should be something. And listen, the words you choose, again, specific to you. Those words may not rouse you, but they certainly rouse me. Okay? So phrase the things in a way that is powerful for you. Bad example, I'm good with women. I'm good with women doesn't stimulate me. I'm good with women. I'm a man who takes action in the face of fear. For me, goes, oh, stokes the fire. Does everyone get that? Hands up if you don't get it. All right, good. To create another empowering alternative, use good leverage. Reward yourself for taking actions, okay? It's easy to punish ourselves for not doing something. But when you do something good, give yourself a small reward. Something like if you go into a bar and you know you want to open the first 3 sets that you see. And you're not going to do that. You're not going to get a drink until you've opened the first 3 sets. Every time. So then the reward for opening your 3 sets, let's go get a drink. Let's get a drink. Simple, but what you start to do is positively reinforce your good behaviors and your good beliefs, your good actions. Another thing we do, let me go back, is to use all the 3 forms of leverage that I spoke about before. Right? So, we're going to do another visualization. I put you into the shit before, I can't just leave you there. Let's pick you back up, right? So, back to yourselves. Close your eyes. Sit comfortably in your chair. Just relax. Everyone just give a stretch and a yawn. Oh, let it out. Oh. Blow out the negative shit. Blow out the stress from the day. And just sit and close your eyes. Get into yourself. I want you taking deep breaths into your stomach, right down into the pit of your stomach, into the Dantian again. Feel that wave of relaxation rush over your body as that blue flame increases. On each deep breath, your body releases. You can feel that wave of relaxation over you. Now imagine a month down the line, having become a man who takes action in the face of fear, taking positive steps, approaching, implementing the stuff you've learned over this weekend. You're teasing more. You're more playful. You're sexualizing. Doing physical escalation. How are you standing? How are you breathing? How do you look at women? With new beliefs in place, positive beliefs, strong beliefs. Each day that you take action, you grow, you strengthen. Each day that you take action, it compounds. So let's move forward a year down the line. Continually going out and pushing your boundaries, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Building positive habits. Going for what you want. Meeting the type of women that you want. Not settling for average. How do you stand? You see a beautiful woman walk past, doesn't faze you anymore. How do you smile at her? Now let's move forward 5 years down the line. 5 years of consistently taking action. 5 years of consistently overcoming your limiting beliefs. 5 years of consistently meeting beautiful women, having the type of women in your life that enrich your life. 5 years of that. How does it feel in your gut to no longer have bad body language, to no longer have a timid voice? 5 years. And forward 10 years down the line. Everything in your life that you want. Having adopted the characteristics of those great men that you highlighted. Now let's move forward to 20 years down the line. 20 years of taking action. 20 years of good body language. 20 years of beautiful women. How does that feel? 20 years of being successful. Where does it feel in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? In your gut, in your stomach, in your balls. Being the man that you know you can be. 20 years of that. And let's move forward to lying on your deathbed. Having your dreams around you. There. Knowing that you've become the kind of man that you can look at and smile upon. Having self-respect and strength. Knowing that you challenged yourself. Knowing that you stepped out of the 95%. You stepped out of the average and you became exceptional. Looking around you, seeing loved ones, people who love you, people that respect you, people that look up to you for the life that you have lived. That's a lifetime of greatness. And you take 3 deep breaths and you sink that into your gut. And on that 3rd breath, wake up and write down anything about that visualization that sticks with you. And last stage. This is probably the most important part. Keys to success. We've got to seek reference experiences. Action is everything. Number one key, specific knowledge. Specific knowledge. Number two, mentors. And number three, strategic experience. Specific knowledge. I got into this community, and when I found out there were a few books, a few DVDs, and some audio books, I just went, give me everything, give me everything, give me everything, give me everything. I became a knowledge junkie, but I wasn't taking much action. I knew everything. I knew all the different types of theory, right? Be specific with the knowledge that you need. The more that you can highlight your sticking points and find specific knowledge to move you forward, the quicker you're going to move forward. If you just try to consume, you're going to get confused. Mentors. This is the glorious thing about a weekend like this, a boot camp or one-to-one or whatever, is that we give you the specific knowledge, you have mentors who you can see demonstrate stuff, and then you go out and we give you strategic experience. It's all in one. That's why boot camps work. That's why we have the kind of success that we have, is because all those three things are mixed into one weekend. So you moving forward, when you're overcoming a sticking point or a negative belief or whatever, you got to just, that's the process right there. Find out specifically what's going on, get the specific knowledge, find a good mentor if you can. Sometimes you can't, but you can model someone. Mentors, they don't necessarily have to, you don't have to necessarily sit down for drinks with them or go to dinner with them. Sometimes if there's someone who is one removed from me, but I listen to their actions or I think about their thoughts. It's the beliefs that are important. How does your mentor think differently from you? Those are the questions. Some people may have met me over this weekend and asked me certain questions. I remember one guy, and I said, stop. You got to ask the right questions, okay? And when it comes to mentors, some of the right questions to ask and to ask yourself is, how do they think that is different to me? Okay? And then you'll bridge that gap. Then you'll start to learn their beliefs. Strategic experience. Got a small chunk. What do we have you doing on the first day? I mean, it might be different for different instructors, but what was the first day, anyone who went out on the VIP level, what was the first day about? There you go. Simple. First day, I get guys to just blitz. We're just opening, transitioning. What that does is AA starts to dissipate. Okay? You just start to develop the approach habit. That's it. Small chunk. So anytime you're going to come up against something and you have to create a path for yourself, a little routine, where you small chunk stuff till you get to the first actionable step. The first actionable step. There's a great package called MindJet or Mind Manager, something like that, and it creates these kind of like the graphs where, not the graphs. Who's ever used Mind Manager before? Anyone use Mind Map? Yeah, it's like these mind maps where they come off and then they do another box and another box comes, another box. And that's a great package where you can just put the belief or the kind of new action that you want, and then you can just literally start small chunking them. So let's say it was something like, I'm a man who takes action in the face of fear, right? That is a big destination goal. Big destination goal. And let's say you're not approaching yet. So to small chunk that, what is something, let's say, my destination was action in the face of fear, doing direct approaches. To get to a direct approach, you might not be able to do that immediately. So maybe you do an indirect approach. Maybe you're still nervous about indirect approach. Maybe you do something functional. You just ask what the time is, or you ask. That's when, you know, if we're starting on day game, where day game can be, you know, if it's something that you haven't done before, we might get you doing smaller stuff. Where's the nearest Starbucks? Okay, maybe that might still be a bit much. So what about if you just make eye contact and smile? Every woman that passes, 10 times a day, I'm gonna make eye contact and I'm gonna smile. What about if you can't smile yet? Just make eye contact. No smile, so there's no extra pressure. Oh shit, she thinks I like her. Oh, rejected because she didn't smile back. Just make eye contact. What about if you can't make eye contact? You're fucked. Okay. But you got to start somewhere. You got to jump out your comfort zone, right? So just make eye contact, or think about making eye contact. Visualize making eye contact, right? But create small chunks, a first actionable step. If the step is too big, you won't take it. If the step is too big, you will not take it. Okay? So small chunk things. In your own time, and lads, this is serious. This is a slow process. Highlighting your negative beliefs is a very slow process. So in closing, I'll just say that I'll repeat that, you know, you have to wage war, man. Like, this is, for me, beliefs and success has to become life and death. Overcoming your negative beliefs has to become life and death. Because it is the difference between your success and your failure. How important is it to you? Who's going to go back and weed out their fucking mind so they discover what is going on underneath the surface? Sit down at home, weed it out, find out, create different scenarios. So, you know, when you're, as I said before, when you're in a club and you know you should approach, what goes through your mind? What stops you? Why are you avoiding taking action? What is stopping you from reaching your North Star? I've got about 2 minutes. In closing, Humber, are we ready to roll? All right, I'm just going to wrap up then. Some of you may have or may not have watched the Body Language DVD, or may not have it. It is something that myself and Cajun and Mr. M kind of put together at first, and Body Language is my passion project, man. It is a difference. It's been one of the things that has taken my career in acting from nothing to what it is now, and continually growing. So I'm very passionate about it, and it's something that I invest a lot of time in, being able to look at guys and go, this, and this. If you do this, and this, you're gonna see massive results. It's one of those things that most guys, they don't even know when they're doing shit wrong, right? So we created this DVD in order for it to be the last product on Body Language that you'll ever need. And from the reviews and the feedback that we've got, I think we achieved it. So for the first 5 people that come to me afterwards, we get a, what are we allowed to do? Yeah, you save $100 on the actual DVD for today. So it's normally $497, so you get it for $397, all right? So anyone who comes to me, just holler at me and we can do that. But lads, health, happiness, and hot women. Peace. Yeah.